Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Smith. Welcome to Litter Media Live Special Edition. Today, our edition brought to you by Classic Brands. We're talking with Jim Hatfield, Barry Bennett. We'll tell you what they're here to talk about. They were here a few months ago introducing this idea. We'll get an update on the possibility of a countywide EMS service. All that right after this from Classic Brands.
You haven't had vodka soda like this. No one has. Made with the world's smoothest vodka plus real juice. New White Claw Vodka Soda.
We are back talking about the Ross County EMS Committee. We have Jim Hatfield, who's from Jefferson Township, Barry Bennett from Green Township. Gentlemen, welcome. Good to have you back with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You were here a number of months back, Jim, to kind of introduce this idea of a countywide EMS service. So get us up to date on where we are now.
Well, with Barry and the sheriff and some other people, we knew this issue in the county had persisted for several years, and we had different ideas and nobody could come up with a solution. So we, in the April meeting, I believe, at the association meeting, we decided to form a committee to investigate, see what avenues we go. At that meeting, we decided that we'd contract with a consultant. So at that time, we formed a committee. There was 3 fire chiefs from the townships, a large township, a medium, and a small township. And then we, at the trustees, formed a committee of different townships, of large and small, and with the sheriff, the auditor, and a commissioner sit down and formed a scope of service that we need. So we have submitted those to a consulting company. We have bids back from the consulting company, and those are going to be reviewed by that committee, and then they will advise us which consulting company meets the criteria of the scope of services. Mm-hmm. And Barry may know more about what the scope of services is. He was on that committee. I wasn't.
Yeah, the scope of services really is to look at everything. Devin Shoemaker, I want to thank him. He has been such a help in this in terms of systems. And, the majority of us don't understand systems. Jim heard me say this at our meeting. A system is really hard to take a look at. And when you look at the EMS and fire, we have to first talk about geography. Mm-hmm. And Ross County is a big county. The scope of service, too, is how many do we need where, and the equipment in the county, and all these issues. And it really comes down to, when you look at it, is people to be available to go. I was on Green Township Fire Department for a number of years, and there was a time, and Jim knows the volunteerism back in the old days was great, but there was a time Green Township refused people coming in until there was an opening to be on the fire department.
Wow.
And what's happened is I just re-upped my continuing ed for my EMS, and it really took a lot of time. And here we have people who are working in our systems, and this just isn't about making the runs and being there. It's taking care of our people too, who have done and accomplished all this training. Mm-hmm. These paramedics, what is it, 1,200 hours?
Oh my!
Oh, it's incredible. And if you look at Green Township, we have 24/7 now, but we have some EMS people who are working 3 different fire departments.
Wow.
To make it.
Yeah.
And so it's making the runs, it's being there, the golden time, we call it, to get there as quickly as we can. And the idea is that it also takes care of the people who have done all this training. I don't want to advertise for Panda Express here, but my wife and I were going through Panda Express the other night. Yeah. And it offered more there for an employee than we were paying our EMT.
Yeah.
And so it just, it's one of those things. And so the committee, with everything in this county, there's no forcing of people to get involved. But what we want to do is we want to challenge the trustees, because the trustees, we have a great county. And I want to thank all the first responders and EMS, past, present, and future. When I come on the fire department, I had people that mentored me, they helped me, and there was a time in Green Township we only had 4 or 5 EMS individuals, and those people made runs all the time. My wife and I, she was also an advanced EMT, and we were on call twice a week from 9:30 at night till 5:30 in the morning. Ooh. And it seems like with our luck, we always got called out. And that was a commitment.
Yeah. You talk about Ross County size. How many townships in Ross County?
16 townships.
Yeah. So when we're talking about this countywide system, we're excluding the city of Chillicothe because they have their own service, correct?
That study will include Chillicothe.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
They have been their fire chief was a part of this study. There will be a part of it. So, we at this point don't have any idea. They keep asking, how's it? What's this going to? We as trustees and any individual doesn't have any idea what this system will look like. What our hope is that they'll come back with options for those townships that says that they're doing okay. Those are there be options that our hope is that these will be jobs where they pay a decent wage with benefits and insurance, where that is their job, not a volunteer. Right. And everybody in Ross County, our desire is everybody in Ross County will have equal access to emergency services.
So the committee has a meeting coming up with the county commissioners, the county auditor, and the trustees of the townships on May the 4th. What is it that you want, first of all, speaking to Joe Citizen and Susie Citizen out there, what you want from them in talking to their trustees?
We'd like to, each constituent in each township, to encourage their trustees to be a part of the financial support of this study, to be involved. The resolution that we're committing is the townships of Ohio will partner with the Ross County Commissioners to hire a consultant. The county commissioners agreed to pay half of the consulting fee. Mm-hmm.
Which is great. Which is great, yeah.
And we don't know if everybody gets involved. We're looking at no more than $4,000 per township.
Yeah. So again, this is simply a consultant looking at the study or putting together a study of what you would need. Anything that would eventually happen down the road, that would require a vote from the citizenry, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
If there is a study that comes back and says there's the revenue, we need additional revenue, it would probably involve a levy.
Yes.
To each. Yes. Each constituent.
Yeah.
And I really think, too, I've talked to a lot of people, the trustees and fire department people. I know a lot of people in the fire department because I ran so long, and they'll say, well, this, and that. I said, but we don't know. Truly, looking at a system, even in Ross County, you look at like Green Township, we're next to Union, we're next to Springfield, we're next to Coleraine, and I guarantee you something, Green and Union is much different than Coleraine and Springfield.
Right.
You see, so there's uniqueness there that we don't know what we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's and everybody has an idea, and there's been some good ideas said, but we don't know. And there is some good work being done in our county by EMS, but it's stressed just because. Well, for instance, we just had a young man who ran with us out of Green Township. Great guy. I mean, just an awesome guy. My wife had him in first grade, you know, and so he was special. But he ended up getting his fire, you know, and his, I think, advanced. Mm-hmm. Well, he's full-time now in Delaware, Ohio.
Wow.
And a lot of the people that we have, that we've had, they get their experience, they get their certifications, they get their licensure. Well, we wish them well. I mean, they're going to go to Delaware. Yep. They're going to have fringe benefits. They're going to have health insurance. They're going to get paid well. I mean, really, it's, you know, and I told him, he said, Barry, I remember him calling me and said, Barry, I'm going to be leaving. And I said, where are you going? And he told me, and I wished him well, because that's kind of the ultimate thing, to take all that training. And I'm telling you, Mike, it is a lot. It's not just the education part. It's that experience part you have to have. I remember on advanced, I remember going to Adena and Berger Hospital and being trained on IVs. Wow. That was hours.
Yeah.
In your own time.
Right. I know with most feasibility studies, which again, to the viewer, that's simply what you're asking the trustees to sign on, just this feasibility study at this point. They would look out ahead, not just only today, but look out ahead. Because as you said earlier, Barry, before we went on the air, that there have been some townships in the past that they were in good shape, but now they need help.
Yes.
Things change.
Things change.
And I do know one of the consulting companies that put a bid in is one of the consultants that set up the Delaware County system. So that's that's where Barry's
a good system.
Volunteer took the job there, and they have benefits. This needs to be where we have, again, everybody in Ross County has equal service to EMS system.
And I think you said that many counties throughout the state of Ohio are already doing this and have been for some time.
And, you know, just for the viewers, if you want to see the counties and fire districts in Ohio, you can get on the National Paramedic Association website. You can Google that, and it shows in Ohio how many there are. I mean, there's, I think, 70-some now. Wow. And there's 88 counties, right, but there's districts, you know, sometimes they're in both counties, you know. And to see it, and a lot of those counties and fire districts used a consultant because, you know, again, systems are so hard to set up. I mean, I know Green Township's fire department thoroughly, not just because I'm a trustee, because I was on it. How we operate, what we do. Well, every fire department doesn't operate the same.
Exactly.
And so that system, to make it countywide or whatever they come up with, you know, if there's, one person said, well, could they divide up things? I said, yeah, but I have no idea.
Right.
I have no idea.
I had one fiscal officer of a large township approach me after one of our meetings, and their system are doing decent and doing well, but she was told me, said, you know, even say we're doing well, this study may show us things that we could do to improve our service.
That's
also.
very important.
So I think everybody, regardless of where they're at in this, can learn with a professional consulting company.
So in conclusion, before this May 4th meeting that you'll be having with the commissioners and the trustees, you're simply asking our viewers to contact their township trustees
Yes.
and say,
We'd like to do partnership financially with the commissioners for the consulting fee.
very good. Well, guys, good to see you again.
Hey, you too, Mike. Thank you very much for having us.
Good to have Jim Hatfield of Jefferson Township, Barry Bennett from Green Township. They are representatives of this Ross County EMS committee talking today about a proposal for a countywide EMS service. Our Litter Media Live special edition brought to you by Classic Brands. I'm Mike Smith.